Welcome to the Learn Podcast, Wyler.
Thank you so much for having me, Marcy. I'm happy to be here.
C.O.Wyler is the author of the Untaken Book Series. If you like the Left Behind series, this is a series for you. Wyler, why don't you tell us about your latest books? What inspired them?
I have 3 books currently in a 4-book series, and they are all about the rapture. They start with 12 Hours is the first book, 12 Days is the second book, and 12 Weeks is the third book. The fourth book will be 12 months, so that would cover a full year after the rapture, which now sets into the tribulation. And they're all inspired mainly by the Left Behind series, but I had been infatuated with the concept of the rapture since I was like 6 years old. And every time I would do anything, I would think, what if it happened today? Are those clouds in the sky? Maybe it's going to happen today. I mean, as a child. So I've always done that. And even while we're talking right now, Marcy, I hope the rapture happens right now.
That would be amazing. Because it can happen at any time, according to Revelation.
That's correct. There's nothing, it's imminent now. There's nothing that has to happen. We just have to wait for it. And then it does not set up the tribulation. The tribulation may be later. We don't know how long. It doesn't state, but we know that's a 7-year period. So the books focus mainly on right when it happens. And they're all written from, well, not all of them, but they all include Sarah. And the protagonist you will not like. She's obnoxious, she's self-absorbed, and she's pregnant. But when the rapture happens, the baby and all children are taken. Can you imagine something like that happening?
I can't.
Some people don't think the children will be taken. I do, until the age of accountability. Again, I don't know that. I don't know everything. The books say that a million times. But my whole thing is I want you to get to think about, what if it happened right now while we were talking? What would that be? Would you go up? Would you be taken? Or would you be untaken? Yeah, all the books have the eternal plan of salvation, so they can be used as witnessing tools. And also, the first 2 books are written as if it's called Breaking the Fourth Wall in writing, and it says if you are inside Sarah's head, you get to see, watch, and hear, think everything she's thinking, doing everything because of a AI, artificial intelligence implant in the back of her head. And so you get to go in there, and she's talking to you. She's trying to explain what's going on when there's been an airplane crash. Everything is in her head, the first 2 books. The third book, which just got published at the end of April, is written from one of the viewers, a 17-year-old kid that has hacked into the computer system and watched her. And what does he do when surveillance starts keeping an eye on her because she's not doing what they want her to? And that's where I had the most fun writing and researching, because of the AI, because of the surveillance, drones, satellites, Elon Musk's ideas up in space. That's all in book 3.
Wow, I love that your book is written in that new perspective. So this is wonderful. Now, there are other films and books of the Left Behind genre. How do your series approach it differently?
It's very much different than Left Behind because it's written so many, decades later. That was written in the 70s and 80s, 90s. And actually, the first book I had, when I sent it out to a bunch of publishers, one wanted it until the Left Behind series, because the book took 30 years to write, the first one. The Left Behind series came out, and they said, no, we don't want something else to be against that. Too many books are about the rapture. So they shelved it, I shelved it, wrote it again. It's been written 5 times until I got the first one out. The series is a lot different, my series, because of that whole thing of you're inside her head. I do not know of any rapture series that are written that way. It's very unique to the genre of it being you are in her head and it's current day, where I try to make it a little futuristic, but not too much, because I think the rapture could happen at any second.
I love that it's unique in its approach. So what is it that you hope someone takes away after finishing the book series?
Of course, the most important thing is the salvation, that they decide to go to heaven, because that's like the ultimate goal of any of books that are Christian genre books, is you want to make sure that the readers where they stand with Christ and the plan of salvation. So that's the very first thing that I would want to make sure everyone does that. I think another whole thing is the idea of Christianity and the rapture, where so many of the churches don't preach about it. They don't talk about it or teach it. So this will give you more ideas of, oh, will this happen? Will that happen? And there's questions at the back of the book, along with some of my notes of how I had to learn. Can you lose your salvation? Can you be saved after the rapture if you heard about it? All these are discussed. The whole idea of the babies being taken, the children to what age. I try to, in my Christian walk, add these things into the books as far as what if, how did this happen, how can this happen. The Holy Spirit helps me write them, but they're not perfect. This is my scenario in my head, but it will come out in your head if you read it differently and go, oh, wait, what about this idea? Or no, I can't think that way.
That's wonderful. Guys, again, her series, the Untaken End Time series, is very much based on Revelation. So if you enjoy reading the book of Revelation, I suggest you pick this book up. Now, before we go, I want to know, what has been the most rewarding part of writing the Untaken series so far?
I think not only my spiritual walk has changed, because I think that rapture is imminent, but in how I share the books. The first book is always free as an ebook, no matter what. That's my ministry, so I just give it away. I just want it out there as an ebook, and then I always give contests and promotions on the other two books. So I want you to learn about the Lord. I want you to learn and be excited about His coming back in the clouds to get us. I want you to yearn for that. And when I get emails that say, oh, wow, this really touched me, or you're so right, or I now want to read Revelation, that's what means the most to me, is that I get feedback from these three books. And I'm hoping that the fourth one, when I just start writing, that will be the compilation of all of them, that we just think, how fast is it going to happen now? And will you be taken or will you be untaken?
Guys, you have a wonderful opportunity to grab the first book of the Untaken series for free. Wyler, where can listeners reach out to you?
I'm on Facebook mainly, but you can always just look up one of my books, and even in the back of it are all my email addresses. I'm under Author C.O.Wyler on Facebook. Reach out, let me know. I can send you a free PDF of book one if you want to. And I'm always looking for reviews to keep the books out in the public's eye. On Amazon, book one is number one in free books in the United States under Christian futuristic fiction right now. Now, tomorrow it might be different, but it's exciting to know that that book was put out in 2022 and it's still number one, because so many people have enjoyed reading it and say, oh, I want to read the next one. So I'm just amazed about the Holy Spirit, what He's done for the book, and how He's gotten it out, and how others have shared it and reviewed it and told others about, the rapture could happen today.
It could. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Mercy.
Well, there you go, guys. If you'd like to grab your copy of one of the bestsellers on Amazon, the Untaken End Time series, it's available now. Or you can reach out to C.O.Wyler herself using the links in the description box. Thank you so much for listening.